there is this venerable in Anglican church. That's where we fetch water, clean water anyways. I think I started going there as a child when I was 7. This man, I don't know, I would say he picked interest in me. He would invite me to his office, then he'll start touching me.
When you say his office, you mean in the church?
In the church office. He was having sex with me.
So this man did that from when you were 7 years old, and he continued
till I was 14.
Hi viewers, welcome to the SafeHub. That safe space where you can speak, where you can be heard, and of course where you can heal through the support of our expert therapists. Welcome back viewers, our guest is here. Thank you for joining us on today's episode.
You're welcome.
Alright, please tell us your name and tell us what was childhood like for you.
My name is Tosin, and childhood was fun growing up with my parents.
Okay.
My parents are deeper life pastors, and it was, growing up in a home that you have certain principles and you have to work by it. So growing up was, I'll say it's a mixture of fun until the whole thing happened.
Until the story happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right into the story.
I would say my parents caused my traumatic experience at first.
Okay.
I would say they do.
Why did you think so? Why do you think so?
Okay, my mom is the kind of person that she's sensitive, but at the same time she just she's religious. So she believes that once someone is in Christ, or once you claim Christ, you're safe and I could leave anything into your hands. So growing up, there is this area, we stayed in Ekiti. I grew up in Ekiti, Igboli Ekiti to be precise. So I grew up in Ekiti. There is this venerable in Anglican church, and that's where all the community fetch their water. They pump water every day. So that's where we fetch water, clean water anyways. So going there as a child, I think I started going there as a child 7 years.
When you were 7?
When I was 7.
Okay.
That was when I started going there. So I would follow my friends, and technically my mom would not allow us to fetch water because she would go herself before we wake up, she's gone, then she's back. My dad doesn't stay with us. He stays far away because of his work. So he only comes on weekend. So it's just my mom and my 3 other siblings. So I follow my friends, basically. That was it at first. I follow my friends, and this man, I would say he picked interest in me. So I used to be a very smart and sharp child, like while growing up.
You were 7 and it piqued interest in
Yeah,
you.
I think.
Okay.
So he would invite me to his office, then he'll start touching me. So then I really don't know what it's about.
So when you say his office, you mean in the church?
In the church office.
Okay.
The church is the building, the office is just beside the church building. So and that's where his family also stays. There is a mission house inside the same building. So that's where his family stays. But his wife, I think his wife travels a lot. If I could remember, his wife travels a lot. So this man will invite me into his office, then start touching me. I really don't know what it is because it will just place me there on his office table. So there was this day that I really wanted to tell one of my friends, and it is Lola DME. So I really wanted to tell Lola. Lola is late now.
Oh, sorry about
Lola
that.
is late. So I wanted to tell her, but this man told me, like I told the man that, can I tell Lola so she can join us? That was what I said, like so she can join us. I really don't know what's going on.
What you were doing?
So he just said no, that I should not tell anybody, that he loves me. That's why he's doing this to me. So I was like, oh, okay. So I asked him, like, but my dad loves me and he does not do this to me.
So when you said this, was just touching you, or what exactly was he doing to you?
He was having sex with me. Yeah. Because I can remember the first day I cried. So I told him that it was painful. And being a child, I really don't know. So he told me to get into the bedroom. He beated me and
he did that himself.
He did all that, yes, he did that.
Okay.
And I wore my clothes. I went back home. So when I got home, I was crying. My mom was asking what happened. I said my vagina was pain me. My mom was like, blah blah blah. Like she was just
She was
she could
anxious.
not really pick what was going on. But because of my kind of person that once I cry about things like few days, I'm over it. Even if the pain is still there, I'm over it. I was okay, like it's pain, it will go with time. So it continued whenever I go with my friends, it continued, it continued.
So you go with your friends to fetch water there, and then he calls you in. Only
He called
you.
me in, only me. So later, I actually thought it was only me that was doing that too. But then later, I realized that few of my friends, but they were able to say it out. Like, they just tell me, like, oh, this man is doing this to them. And I was like, oh,
At
okay.
what point did they come out to tell you
I think
that?
that was when we were 10.
So this man did that from when you were 7 years old, and he continued.
It
till you
continued
were
till I was 14. Yes.
7 years. He did
Till I
that
was
to you.
14, yes. So it was going on and on and on. So I think when I was 11, I stopped seeing him. Like I don't know why, I just hated him. Like for no reason, I just hated this man. So after a while, my mom said that there is this program that was going on in that community. It's like a small village in Ekiti. So there was this program that they do have every year. We don't have a choice. We just have to attend. Like you can't tell my mom no that you're not attending a church program. So we had to be there. And I remember at the vigil, the man said, I am possessed. Then they want to have a deliverance section for me.
Okay.
So my mom gladly released me because while growing up, candidly, I was really weird. Like I see things. So when I say it, it happens and they just believe that I am possessed. So she gave me in for deliverance and the man said I'm going to stay 3 days in the house. And I could say that that man raped me.
For the 3 days.
For the 3 days.
Oh, so that was meant to be the deliverance.
That was meant to be the deliverance. So after the third day, he just did some little prayers. Then I went home.
Oh, he prayed for you after the deliverance.
He did. So I went home. Then
while all of this were happening, your mom didn't come to check up on you. Like, I mean, you've gone for deliverance. You were supposed to be within the church premises. So where did he keep you? Where was these things happening?
I was in his office.
So he kept you in his office?
Kept me in his
People
office.
were not coming to see him?
No, not really.
And your mom didn't even come to check up on you?
Probably she showed up that she was not allowed to see me.
Okay. Well, those 3 days, you didn't see her?
I didn't see her.
Okay. So when you went back home, what conversations did you have?
When I got back home, my mom asked me, how was the prayer? I just replied, fine. So she asked in Yoruba, I was just like, fine. That was all. So I remember entering my dad's room that day. I entered his prayer room and I prayed that man should just die. That was my prayer, that God just kill this man. He should just
So
die.
at that point, you already knew what he was doing to you was wrong.
I knew that what he was doing was wrong, but I could not place a name to what he was doing. Like if I could actually say this is what he's doing, maybe I would have told someone at that time, like, oh, this man is doing something and this is the name. I could not really pick a name to what he was doing.
He was touching you and he was doing all of that.
And it was painful. So I just felt like this is pain, but I really didn't know what.
And nobody found out at any point that that was happening.
Nobody.
No awkward moment at all. So at what point did you realize that what he was doing to you was wrong?
Okay, that was when I was 14. There was this copper in our area, Copper Rose. So there was a day I was just passing by there. She do gather teenagers, kids and teenagers to just teach them. So she was talking about sexual purity and rape, that if a man is touching you somehow, you could actually scream out and stuff. So I was shocked, like, okay, so this thing is not right. Then I had to go back to her, like, Copper Rose, I won't talk to you. This and this has been happening. This man has been doing this to me. That she was just crying. So while she was crying, I was like, why is she crying?
Why are you crying?
Because what exactly is going on? So she had to take me to her room, explain everything to me, that I've actually been raped and I need to come out of it. I was like, okay, I don't even know that this thing has effect on me or anything. So that day too, I actually cried. But that cry was a fake cry. Because I saw her crying.
Also trying to get into,
like, okay, I didn't really know what was actually going on. So I finished. That was when I finished my secondary school. I finished quite early. I finished at 14. So that was when I finished. Then we moved from that town to another place. My dad was transferred.
Okay, so before we go to that part, What did Corporals do for you, after you explained everything?
Okay.
Did she make any attempt to, bring this out to the open, let your parents be aware? What exactly did she do to help
Okay.
in that situation?
Corporals asked me if I would like her to follow me to the man to just go talk to the man. I said no.
Okay.
That I don't want my parents to know anything that is going on. When you are kind of a pride to your parents and you don't just want them to feel bad about you or anything, because my mom is very, very proud of me. She is. So I wouldn't want to break her. At that time, I just told Corporals that she just leave it. But Corporals actually went to the man.
Okay, she did.
Yeah, she did. She went to the man and told the man that if he doesn't stop, she was going to arrest the man. So I think that was what she did, because after then we went for the normal community program too.
Okay.
So that was in December then. The man did not do anything. So that was when I was like, oh, thank God that this man did not even see me again or stuff like that.
So at what point did you realize that the man was doing that to other female children around? I mean, your friends.
Okay. When I was 10,
Okay.
my friend said something like that.
Okay.
So they said this casually because they did not understand. Then this my friend Lola Adeyemi, she mentioned this when we finished secondary school. So I told her that this was what happened and this was what I told Corporals. So she said same thing happened. I was like, really? So she mentioned few names too. I was like, that's something. So jokingly, I just told her that we're supposed to stone this man. Why would he do something as bad as this to us? I just said it. To me, it was just the pain that I actually felt. I didn't really know.
Did you know it had an effect on your mental health
I
or
really
anything?
didn't know.
Okay.
So not until we moved from that town then, I realized that when we got to the other town, I hated pastors. Even my father, I hated him because anything pastor, I just feel like you guys are wicked. Then we now got to, so we left Deeper Life. So after we moved from that town, we got to another town, then there was no Deeper Life. So we left Deeper Life, then we started attending CEC. Then these people will say, I am possessed, they want to do a deliverance. So once they say I'm possessed and they want to have a deliverance, it takes me back to. So I'll just blow out on them, like, even if I'm not going to make heaven, I'm fine. That's what I would just, if I'm not going to make heaven with this spirit, it's fine by me. Let me just go to hell because I don't want another.
You don't want to experience that.
I really don't want to. I really don't want to.
Okay.
So my mom started thinking, oh, it's the demon, it's the that, it's the this. So she started taking me from one pastor to the other. So I just keep blowing out on pastors. I just keep blowing out on them. So, and I really don't know why all of them will say I am possessed, because in actual sense, I am not.
So what do you think they were seeing?
I really don't know.
Possessed. Okay.
I really don't know. So I think it was when I now got to school, that was when I knew the effects of what happened. Aside hating my parents, I hated my sister, I hated everybody, because I now felt dirty. I felt used. I felt like, oh, this man really used me. This man really did that and that. So when I got to school, when I got to Lautech, pre-degree, I started seeing people like ladies and stuff like that. So when people talk freely, like when people feel loved, when they talk to each other and they're like, oh, this is my friend, meet my friend, I'll just be like, oh,
you're not interested.
I really don't want to be anybody's friend, because I feel like one day we'll talk about stuffs and I will want to share my story. I really don't want to talk about myself. Because there is no way I want to talk about myself that I will not talk about that experience. So I just feel like, I don't want friends. And I'm kind of a lovable person. Like, people want to be my friend, but I don't always want to be their friends. I shy away from that talk and friendship.
Okay. So at what point did it now become something you could talk about?
That should be 2021.
Okay.
So even though I try not to have friends, there is this lady that just wants to be my friend. She's on my neck. She just wants to be my friend. Since 2015 till 2021, she would call me, she would text me. I'll just be like, who is this one? We are actually departmental mates, but I'll just be like, I don't want to be. Even in class, she would keep sit for me. I'll be like, no, I'm not sitting there. So There was this day she just bumped on me in my hostel. I was like, how do you know my hostel? She said she did her research and she just wanted to be my friend. That she knew that something was going on with me, but she could not pick what it was. So she got into my room, then she was like, oh, tell me about yourself. I just started crying. Because I just feel like, what do I want to tell you? I feel you're clean, and I, on the other hand, I'm dirty and this. So I explained to her and how that has affected my journey with people. I don't just want to be friends with anybody. So she also shared her story. Apparently, we have the same
The
story.
same story.
So we had the same story. Then she introduced me to a therapist. That was when I started speaking up
So,
about it.
so far, how has speaking up helped you?
It really helped.
Hmm.
Because talking about it, you get to meet people that they already gone through that process and they recovered and they healed completely. Because my thought before was that there is no way you won't remember that. There is no way you will talk about that and you won't cry or stuff like that. So getting a therapist, talking about it, I talked more about it, actually helped me heal completely.
So, as much as you've talked about it, do you think, are your parents aware about it now?
No, they are not.
No, they are not.
At all.
You don't want to talk to them about it.
Well, I really don't want to break my mom.
So, I think the person who is most affected is you.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to come out of that situation, I think you being strong is enough reason why your mom would be fine. And I'm sure from what you just said now, do you still remember that person? If you see the person, what's his name? You just know you know him as venerable, right? You don't know his name. That's the only thing you know about
I
him.
really can't pick that man's name. I really don't know his name. I just know him as Venerable. Then I remember he has tribal mark. He's from Oyo State. That's all.
That's all. So he just went like that. No justice, nothing. You don't discuss with your
That was
parents.
what really hurt me most. That the fact that I can't really remember this man's name.
I'm very sure that man, if he's still alive, he's somewhere out there.
I hope he's
And he
dead.
might still it's okay. He might still be out there doing it to some other children. And it's really okay if one can, nab him and then
Absolutely.
get the right justice, get justice for whatever it is that he actually did to you. So I think talking to your mom might be of help, might help you narrow it down, getting to know or being able to get that man and you getting the justice that you deserve.
I really, well, I think I will try that, but I don't think I will really want that to my mom.
To your mom.
I could talk to my dad
Your dad,
about
okay.
it.
Okay.
My dad is more of a listener, but my mom is kind of religious woman that she just blow out and she could just start crying or praying. So one out of the two, that cry and pray, or cry or pray, one out of the two.
I understand. So what do you think parents could actually do to avert this kind of things happening in children? I mean, it happened for a very long time, 7 years, and it went on and on and on like that, right? What do you think parents could do or should do to avoid these things happening to their children or their what?
Okay, I would say that parents should be friends with their kids. My mom was never my friend. No, she was not. She trained me to be independent, to just be myself. So as much as she wants you to be in Christ, just be in Christ. That's her basic. So if you are in Christ, you know what to do. There is nothing like, oh, there are morals, there are this, there are that. So there is no relationship. Even till now, there is no relationship between her and my mom. We just talk. There is no relationship.
As much as there is a place of you knowing your God, serving your God, there's also the place of where parents need to play their own part.
Exactly.
Be parents to their children, understand what they are going through. Because thinking about when you complained to her that you were having some sort of pain in your vagina, what action did she take? What did she do about it?
That day when I told her I was fine. And she was like, just that I was
She
fine.
wasn't
like,
curious to know what
So-
exactly happened. She didn't ask questions.
She
didn't
took me
check
to a
you.
nurse.
Okay.
So when she took me to the nurse said it was infection. So the nurse said it was infection. Then I took injection for 3 days.
And that was it.
I knew it was no infection, but I could not just say what it was. So, and that was just it. And even when I had another near experience when I was in university, a lecturer once wanted to have sex with me in his
In
office.
his office.
Yeah, but it turned out to be a battle between us because I felt like this is another thing. So I had to break a jug on his head. I even thought he was going to die, but thank God
He didn't
he
die.
did not die.
Thank God he
So
didn't
thank
die.
God I didn't die. So I actually broke a jug on him. I told my mom. Then I just told my mom casually, like, mom, I went to a lecturer today and this happened. And my mom was like, why would you go to a lecturer? Blah, 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 blah. What were you doing in his office? Instead of her to just, okay, what happened? Hope nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. My mom just blew out on me, like, where would I go? Okay, she said, I didn't pray before like I did not pray before I went to the lecturer's office. That if I had prayed, the Holy Spirit would have told me not to go. So since that day, I was just like, oh, nothing would happen to me. That would ever tell this woman. No.
So how are you now?
I'm fine.
So the therapy, what effect or what exactly would you say that therapy did?
The funny thing is, I had boyfriends. It's not boyfriend. I had boyfriends because I was just picking like, oh, okay, this one will love me, this one will love me. Then later I'll just be like, I'm not interested, just go. So I don't really tell them that, oh, this was what was going on with me. I just ghost. That's what I do because I didn't really get the love
You don't feel the
that
connection.
I really wanted. I didn't get the love that I really wanted. So Dr. Otelola really helped me. She really did. She took me into her home, she fed me, she made me feel like, oh, I have a mother. So it really, really helped me. Like, she would want to hear me every day talk about it, like, say it out, talk about your experience. If I forgot something to say, she would tell me, oh, you need to talk about this again. So it really, really helped me. It really did.
Thank you so much. So what would you say to our viewers? I mean, this is your story and the role that, therapy played in helping you come out of that situation.
Therapy is good for any abuse. Therapy is good if you are going through any traumatic experience. Learn to talk to someone and be careful.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. That is the story of Oluwatosin. It is very important for parents to pay attention to their children. Do not forget to like, comment, and share. Leave your comment in the section. What do you think parents could do better? And see you some other time. I remain your humble host, Bisola Olatunji.